Okay, I know a couple of you, or quite a lot of you actually, have been waiting for me to do the second Q&A, and I'll be starting off with 2-Zilla-1, since that was the last one I had on my list. Number 1, what Pokemon do you usually start with? I normally start with the grass types, with my favorite being Bulbasaur and Trico. Number 2 was too personal to say, and any questions regarding what it was, I'll just ignore or delete. Number 3, what is your favorite video game moment from your childhood? Probably finding all the Crim coins with my brother and my friend in Donkey Kong Country 2. Number 4, when did you start playing video games? And when I was very young. My first games that I remember playing were, the NES, the Vectrex. I can't really quite remember, but it was just in that era. Number 5, why do you enjoy doing what you do now on YouTube? Well, it's because it allows me to be creative while inputting my own opinions on certain topics and subjects. So, yeah, it's just fun to be able to express my opinions and try to be creative with them. Up next is GreenToad64. Number 1, what is the most nostalgic game that you've played? Probably Mega Man 2 when I first got to play it again after all those years. The NES on my NES just doesn't seem to work that well. I actually found some parts to hook it back up, but a lot of the games just don't work anymore, and sadly that's actually one of them. Number 2, what is the scariest boss you've ever played? Probably this guy from Resident Evil 4. That guy just looks like a cross between an alien and a predator. Number 3, what should the next Super Smash Bros. Game be called? Well, I heard of a leaked one, not Strife. I didn't like Strife at all, to be honest. I heard of another one, probably fake, but I like it. Super Smash Bros. Universe, with the emphasis on the U, or the Wii U. Marketing-wise, it makes perfect sense, and to be honest, I can accept it if it was going to be called that. Don't know what they would do for the 3DS version, though. Number 4, you just met Mario in real life. What's the first thing you say to him? Why was New Super Mario Bros. Short, disappointing, and easy? Number 5, if any game were to get a sequel, which one would you like to see? I would like to see more Sin and Punishment games, a sequel to Star Fox 64, no doubt, or Donkey Kong Country Returns. Before I read number 6, I need to tell you guys that a lot of these questions were sent to me a very long time ago. Mostly before E3 2011. Number 6 was asking, what did I think the Mario tail was going to be in the Mario 3DS game? And we got our answer, it was the Tanuki suit, and that's kind of what I was hoping for. Number 7, what is the most disappointing boss you've ever played against? That would have to be General Scales, if you can even call that a boss fight. Well, it kind of is, but oh well, it's General Scales. Number 8, what was your reaction when you first saw Sheepman? Why, Capcom? Why? That's one of those... You couldn't have made him Ram Man? Yeah, I just kinda laughed. Number 9, what is one of the worst games you have ever played? Oh, and I might as well just say this right here and now. Make it official. I will be redoing my review of Shadow the Hedgehog because I wasn't really happy with my first one as I didn't have a lot of footage to back up everything I had to say about the game. So I had to leave a lot of things I wanted to say out of the review. Now that I have all the footage, I'm going to redo it. And you'll see why I truly despise that game. I know a lot of you guys love it, I understand, but I didn't really get to explain why I absolutely just can't stand it. Oh, and if you're going to wonder where I got the footage from, the reason I didn't have the footage before, I didn't have the game. This time, I was able to acquire the game for a short amount of time, and I was able to get the footage for it, so just keep that in mind. So there you go, that answers that. Next up is Viper6525D. First question, what was your inspiration to make the videos you make today? Well, that would be XPlay, and a couple of other YouTube users that I used to watch. They don't really make them anymore, but oh well. Number 2, what was your first console? The NES and the Vectrex. Can't remember which came first. I think the Vectrex came first, but I don't remember which one I played first. Number 3, ice cream or cake? Cake. Number 4, if you could meet anyone, who would you choose and why? Probably just some of the friends I've met on YouTube, just so I can play against them in matches that aren't online and hindered by lag. Number 5, if you could own any game from your childhood you don't have anymore, which would it be? Probably the Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse on the Super Nintendo. I can't find it anywhere, and I used to love that game. But apparently it's now at Mickey Junk Mountain, sadly. Number 6, When you're about to make your video/commentary, how do you prepare? Usually I just jot down a few things that I want to say and build off of that, going to leave out, put in little details, and then just read it off like that. Scripts are very helpful now. I used to not use scripts, and now I need them for almost every video I have, except for quick videos like this. Well, I shouldn't say this is quick, but just for videos like this where I don't need a script. I just need a structure. Okay, here's some questions from Cheetah465. Number 1, what is your favorite Pokemon? Man, how many times do I get asked this? Well, I guess it can't be helped. I'll say Bulbasaur in all the forms, Trico in all the forms, Magmortar, Milotic, Jolteon, Electivire, a lot of the legendaries, Garchomp, and I haven't really been able to test out the 5th generation type just yet. I've trained a lot of them, but I haven't really seen how well they'll do in battle. The list is always kind of changing, but that's just a short list of my favorites. Number 2, do you watch The Nostalgia Critic? No, I don't. Sorry. I have nothing bad against him. I've never seen his work. I just don't really have an interest. Number 3, do you play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon? No, I don't. I do not play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. I don't play Pokemon Ranger. I don't play Mystery Dungeon. I don't play the trading card games. I don't play Pokepark. I don't play any Pokemon spin-off except I did rent Pokemon Snap. I kind of liked it. And I also rented Pokemon Pinball for the Game Boy Color. But besides that, the only Pokemon games I like are the traditional RPGs. Usually on the handhelds as well. Okay, number 4. When do you think you'll be back on Ask the Sonic Heroes? As soon as I get my money! No, it's whenever they need me back. It's not up to me, it's up to them. I guess it's whenever they're asking Team Chaotix, so I'm here when they need me, usually, but until they need me, I'm not going to be on it again. No, it's not like I've done anything bad, I'm just not going to be there until they need me. Number 5, what is the best movie you have ever seen? Don't really have a favorite movie of all time. Same way I am with video games. I don't have a direct favorite game or a direct favorite movie of all time. There's just a bunch of movies I like. And I think I've answered this question before as well, so I answered this in an interview section. I can't remember them all. Sorry. Number 6. How about the scariest movie? That would probably be the Scream movies. I haven't seen a lot of horror movies or a lot of scary movies, so probably the Scream series, and I've only seen, 1 or 2? I can't remember. Okay, next up is cyberhoodlum. Number 1, if Nintendo offered to put in only one of your character requests for the next Super Smash Bros., who would it be? You're cruel asking that, you know that? You're very cruel. But, let's see, I don't want to say Mega Man or Bomberman, just because I think they already have a high enough chance already. I'd probably put in Ridley just so people saying he's too big would shut up. I mean, if they can tone down Bowser, and if they can bring up Olimar, Kirby, and Sonic, then I have no reason to believe that they couldn't scale Ridley down. Number 2, are there any fighting games you really love besides Super Smash Bros.? In all honesty, not really. I grew up with Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, and I've been playing Tatsunoko vs. Capcom recently, but do I really love them? I don't really love them because it's hard for me to get the hang of the controls in these games. I don't understand what's wrong with me. I can't understand how these combos and how these movesets work, but that's just my own inability. Number 3, you like action RPGs, but how do you feel about turn-based RPGs? Are there any you like? Yes, I like the Pokemon series. I think that was kind of obvious. I did like Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, as well as Super Mario RPG. So far, those have been the only ones that I've been able to really play through. Number 4. It doesn't have to be a perfect game, but do you have a game or series that's your favorite? Why do you guys keep asking me this? I've said a lot of my favorite series, but if there's one in particular I have to choose, then I'm not going to give it to you. Number 5. Have you ever had a crush on a video game character? Nope. Number 6. Is there any type of atmosphere or tone that you find yourself drawn to in video games? Yes, I find myself drawn to very creative, colorful, bright, cartoonish kind of games. The reason I'm not that much into first-person shooters as much is because usually a lot of them take place in dark, musky environments and you can't really see what's in front of you most of the time. Not saying first-person shooters are bad, they're just not my type of game. They're not my type of genre, whereas I like bright, colorful games, you know, like the Mario or the Sonic series, or Donkey Kong Country, or Mega Man. Number 7. What game gave you the most accomplished feeling after you beat it? There's been Donkey Kong Country 2, Super Smash Bros. Melee, and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. One of those three. Pick any one of them. Number 8. Mario or Sonic? Done this before, but I'll say it again. Sonic. Though Mario is a great character, I just like Sonic just a little bit more because he just had such a bigger impact on me growing up. Number 9. Do you feel uncomfortable using characters in Super Smash Bros. If you haven't played any of their games? It helps me recognize them and understand where the moves that come from if I've played their games. And so I don't feel uncomfortable, but at the same time, I don't have a connection with those characters. I've been using Lucas a lot more now, and even though I like his moveset, it's not like I feel uncomfortable, but at the same time, I don't feel a connection. Whereas if I play with characters like Sonic, I feel a strong connection. Number 10. Besides Nintendo, who's your favorite game developer, including past greats? The question itself was too long. I had to paraphrase a couple of questions that they were too large to fit into that little box. Yeah, a lot of you guys didn't know I was going to do that, but I'd have to say Rare. They were great, and now they're kind of dead to me. I'm sorry, but I don't really care for Rare anymore. They don't care about their fans, like Capcom, and they don't make games that people want to play, like Capcom. So Rare just went from being one of the greatest companies in the gaming industry that everybody got excited for when they announced a game, to no one gives a crap. Let them go out of business. I don't care anymore. If you're not going to listen to us, you deserve to lose all business. Next up, 10 from Threadnaught. This should be fun. Number 1, you mentioned you took a course in jazz history. Who is/was your favorite jazz artist? It's been a long time since I've heard them, but Miles Davis and Louis Armstrong. Number 2, hypothetical question. If you had to play a GTA-style game, which would it be? I don't really know any other GTA-style games besides the Saint Rose series, so still none, because the GTA style just doesn't really appeal to me. I know a couple of you out there are probably a little ticked at me for saying that, but I'm not a fan of the GTA series. I've never touched the game. I never want to touch the game, and none of the other style games based off of GTA just really interest me either. Number 3, how would you describe your Pokemon battle style? Sweepers. We strike fast and hard. We make the first attack, the last one you'll ever see. We like to make the move first, and we like to take you out in one hit. That's my style. Number 4, favorite Jedi? If you say Yoda, then you don't know much about the expanded universe. Well, it is Yoda, but within the expanded universe, I'd have to say Kit Fisto. Number 5, which fanbase do you believe to be the worst? If you had asked me last year, I would have said the Sonic fanbase. If you had asked me a year before that, I would have said the Sonic fanbase. If you had asked me any time between that year and the end of 2005, I would have said the Sonic fanbase. However, I think it's changed. I think Sonic fanbase is actually getting better. I honestly believe that. I haven't seen that much of an outcry over Sonic Generations. So I'm going to say the Halo fanbase. I mean, the ones I've heard of that are the worst are Sonic, Final Fantasy, and the Halo fanbase. And I've met with one overly biased Halo fanboy who just could not understand common sense whatsoever. And to me, he just looked like one of the worst representatives for a Halo fan. I mean, there are good Halo fans out there. I know that, but the ones that just say Halo's the greatest game ever, everything else sucks, is just someone you don't want to listen to. Like, they make no sense. They're just, they're so biased, there's no reason to listen to them. Personally, I believe that we're all biased. Let me put it to you this way. If you choose one thing over another thing, well, there you go, you're biased because you chose that over the other. You're always going to have something you prefer over something else. That's not a problem. What is a problem is how unfair you are or how overly biased. For example, I am a huge Nintendo fan, but I'm not a hugely biased Nintendo fan. Don't believe me? E3 2007, 2008, and 2009. You remember those E3s? They were terrible. An overly biased Nintendo fan would have said that they were fantastic, great, and wonderful. I say they were terrible. They were just absolutely terrible. So I don't believe it's a problem I don't believe being biased is a problem. It's being overly biased. That's a huge problem. Me, I'm just trying to be as fair as possible. Number 6. Should video game soundtracks be sold in stores? I kind of want to say yes so I can go out and buy them. But if they do, does that mean that they're now copyright protected and uploading them on YouTube and using them for videos means that you could be in trouble? So there's that. If it's not, then yeah, I want them in. If you don't get in trouble for that, then yeah, I want them sold in stores. But if you do, then I don't want them sold. Depends on what happens. Number 7. Of all the games you have now, how many would you say you've completed 100%? Probably about half of them. A lot of them, I either don't have time to get through them, or I just lose complete interest in trying to complete them 100%. Normally, if it's the game that I'm having so much fun that I don't want it to end even after beating it, I try to go for the 100%. Like Donkey Kong 64 or Bomberman 64. But, yeah, not a whole lot of them I go 100% for. Number 8. Why Nintendo? I know it's because you grew up with it, but it's for those that still wonder. Well, thank you for answering that question. Number 9. Which of your lists did you have the most fun making? It's usually the next list I'm working on. Although I did have a lot of fun doing the optional characters or the playable characters list. That one was pretty fun to do. Number 10. How does it feel to be a celebrity in the gaming community? I don't want to be a celebrity in the gaming community. That sucks. I think it's terrible. I don't want that kind of attention. I'd rather just lay low. Moving on to Dark Jester of Arkham 94. First question. What do you think of the 3DS's 3D controls, sound, and online so far? The 3D is great. The controls are... well, except for the gyroscope, which... it's okay, but it's not the best feature. Could be better. But since they're not really forcing you to use it, it's not really much... it's not really... nothing you can really complain about. The sound, for the most part, is great. And I haven't been able to try the online mode for it yet. Okay, before I read number 2, I need to remind you guys, for those who have a very short attention span and need a reminder, these questions were sent to me a very long time ago. So, question number 2. Do you plan on getting Mega Man Legends 3? That was one of my most anticipated games for the 3DS, and now it's one of the biggest reasons why Capcom sucks. It's one of the reasons why it's like... Capcom just like, what are you doing to us? Why do you hate Mega Man? Are you really doing this to get back at Kenji Inafune for leaving you? I don't understand them. It's bad business, I believe. Number 3. If Rare were still with Nintendo, do you think Nuts and Bolts would be on the Wii? No, because I think we would have had Banjo 3E on the GameCube. A lot of you have seen that beta. You know, it was just a trailer, nothing official, but still, at least showed that they were going to work on something. I don't think Nuts and Bolts would have existed because it wouldn't have appealed to the demographic nature to those who play the Wii. You know, they made it more vehicle-y and more combat-ish. I guess I haven't played it yet, for those on the 360 because I thought that would really work for it. They also wanted to make it more different than the traditional platformer, but let's face it, they really wanted to appeal more to a little bit more of an older audience for the 360, so no, I don't think it would have. Number 4, do you watch Newgrounds? I actually do watch Newgrounds. Not a lot of it, but there's some stuff I do watch. Number 5, do you think that Sonic is good again with games like Sonic 4 and Colors? Sonic 4? No. Sonic Colors? Yes. Sonic Generations? It's looking good. So yeah, I think Sonic's getting pretty great again, but it's just not quite enough. They need a few more fantastic games out there on the market. You know, one good game from last year does not redeem them for years and years of bad to just average games. Yeah, I liked Unleashed, but only for its daytime levels. Number 6. What's your favorite puzzle video game? Probably Tetris DS because it has online. Number 7. If you could only choose 5 games, which would you choose? I would choose the ones that have the best replay value or take a very long time to beat, like Tales of Symphonia. I would definitely take the Pokemon series. Let's see, probably, definitely the Smash Brothers series. What else is out there? Great replay value and good single-player mode. Well, those are the 3 that come off the top of my head, so I'll just go with just those for right now. I've probably said them before, but I'll say them again. I know he asked for 5, but so far that's only 3. I know, and that's all I can really think of. Sorry. Moving on to DirkOf Nintendo. Question 1. What was your most magical moment in gaming? I think I answered that a little bit earlier in the video, so we'll just skip that. Number 2. Do you plan on getting any Final Fantasy games in the future? I might download Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3 on the Virtual Console, but that's really about it. And there are other games I want to get on the Virtual Console first, so it would be a very long time if I ever got them. Number 3. Do you prefer to play 3D or 2D on the 3DS and why? 3D because I want to make the most out of what this thing is supposed to be special for. The 3D effects actually work very well, especially for games like Ocarina of Time 3D and Star Fox 64 3D. And I can't wait to see how it's done in the upcoming games like Super Mario 3D Land, Sonic Generations, Kid Icarus Uprising, and Mario Kart 7. Number 4. If you could take over Rare and hire new workers, what would be the first game you would make? I would make a brand new Banjo-Kazooie platformer, and possibly a Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie remake for the 3DS. Number 5. Have you ever deleted a video of yours because of how it turned out? No, because I watch my videos before I upload them. But I have put a lot of them under private, mainly because I don't want them to reflect my current work. So I only put them under private. I've probably deleted a few videos, but not because I was disappointed with them, just because they were irrelevant. Number 6. What do you want Sega to do for Sonic's 20th anniversary, besides Sonic Generations? Well, I really can't think of anything. Sonic Generations alone pretty much seals the deal. Just by itself, Sonic Generations looks great. I think that's all we really need.